What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I am your host, Eric, and today I just want to talk about how collectivism can work to make the best job site conditions and safety. I had a prime anecdotal piece of evidence that proves that from my work last night. At the beginning of the night, we were laying out what was the work picture for the night. And one of the areas where we have a sign that we need to repair from time to time, whether that's replacing pixel boards or different components, whatever it may be, that sign requires a 2-lane closure in a very tricky area where traffic just comes really fast. There's a lot of big trucks that come through there, and just at night, I don't know if you know this, but at night folks are really trying to get where they need to go, and we live in that culture where everybody kind of thinks about themselves. And so me personally, I really don't like going there to do work in that location because it's always very hairy. It's very risky, and a lot of things can go wrong, and I just don't like that area in general. But we have work in that area, and so the higher ups were planning to go there and send us there to replace a component that was faulty, and we were going to use our equipment to go and do a rolling closure to address the issue and then keep it pushing. Again, it's not a good place to go. It's very difficult. It's very curvy. It's just a really bad spot. And so none of us, me and my guys, none of us like to go there. We go when we have to in emergency situations, but we really don't like to. Coincidentally, there was another contractor in the area that was willing to set up a long-term closure because they had work in the area anyway, and we would be able to sneak into their closure with our equipment and do what we have to do in a safer way. That's the preferred method for me and my guys. But it's really, pressure was coming from above that, hey, we really got to get this sign back up and running. It's very important. It's critical, blah, blah, blah. So I went with the idea that we were going to go ahead and take the risk and go try to get this thing done. But none of us really liked that idea. When we got back to the back room, we started talking about it. And it was clear that nobody really wanted to do this. And someone said, we got to buck. We got to buck and push back and say, hey, this doesn't make any sense. I immediately agreed. You take the temperature of your team. And I went back into the room with the higher ups and I said, listen, this is really a risky area. What is the impact? Because there's a company willing to set up a long-term closure. All we have to do is wait a few days rather than put ourselves out there in a very risky area. And they saw the logic in the argument and said, okay, yeah, we'll do it on another day. We'll talk to the other contractor. We'll set that up. And so it took that collective conversation, a collective discussion, and a collective decision to say, hey, we need to push back. We don't want to be out there in a dangerous situation. We want to do it as safe as possible. To then act on that and go in there and bring that argument and change the situation. That was one example. Later on in the evening, we were finishing up the night. We were testing power in a box. And, you got your induction tester and then you got your meter. But there's a safer way to do it. I mean, there's a safe way to do it with those tools, but there is a much safer way to be able to get the test results that you're looking for. And one of my guys found a meter that had this really cool feature that you can test a conductor without cutting it, without getting a lead on the wire, with your amp. There's a it's a setting on the fluke meter, and it'll tell you how many amps and what the specific voltage is that's on that wire at that time. And I'm a seasoned electrician, and so my tools are, they don't have that level of competency. My tools don't. But I thought, wow, that's a really good tool that we should try to get. And collectively, once again, we started talking about the benefits of it and the safety of it, because a lot of times we got to cut the wire and test it physically with the leads, when you can just use this probe and get your measurements that you're looking for. And so we decided to make the argument that, hey, this is for safety. This is a good argument that we should try to get this. And lo and behold, it was approved. It'll be coming in the next few days for our crew. And these are the things that you can do collectively, you know what I mean? And it's just a small anecdotal example of how really caring about each other and caring about each other's safety and discussing problems together and coming up with solutions together is really the best way to create the safest work environment, the most professional work environment, the most productive work environment, and just the best working conditions out there. But it comes from collective action. And that's just the lesson that I took over last night's work. I'm going into work tonight. We'll see how it goes tonight. But I wanted to bring you that example of how working together, you get the best results. And that's a microcosm for our bigger picture of working together as a labor movement. You're already seeing the movement. You see it in the public opinion of unions. You see it in union activity. You see it in the amount of strikes. You see it in the amount of pushback. You see it in the amount of fight that workers are having. I know you feel it. I know you do. I see it at the union meetings every time I go. It seems to be a membership and a working body that is really interested in fighting for what's deserved. We work hard, we produce all the profits. We deserve our proper portion. We deserve a safe work environment. We deserve good working conditions. We deserve all of these things. It takes collective action though. That's what I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it and found something of interest in this monologue. Anyway, my name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember that the fight is not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there can be no union without you and I front and center. So let's get involved. Peace.